On the world news tonight from BGI TV Current, I am Morire Rebila Lawal. First other major headlines. FG moves to replace striking doctors with ad hoc staff. The National Population Commission, NPC, has disclosed that over 200 billion naira on preparation, NPC. Also going to the next story, INEC, Tinubu, APC oppose Atiku's live broadcast application. Peter Obi deserved to be exposed. LP factional chairman, Apapa. Zamfara governor under investigation for 70 billion naira fraud, EFCC. Smugglers attack custom officers with charms in Ogun. And on sports, Auburn sets for Super Eagles debut against Sierra Leone. For more broadcasts of our broadcasts as well on YouTube channel, which is BGI TV Current, kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. Now the news in detail. The federal government has threatened to hire ad hoc doctors with salaries of the striking resident doctors. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, gave the hint during a channel's television program. The National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, began a 5-day warning strike on Wednesday over unmet demands. The association is, among other things, demanding increments in the consolidated medical salary structure to the tune of 200% of the current gross salary of doctors. New allowances included in its letter to Minister of Health on July 7, 2022 on the review of Commerce, payment of the 2023 Medical Residency Training Fund, payment of salary arrears, and consequential adjustment of the minimum wage. Ngige said the striking resident doctors were crying wolf. He also said the NARD was disrespectful to the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, which was already negotiating with the government on itself. The resident doctors are part of NMA. They are young doctors in training. So if the NMA is negotiating on their behalf as the parent body, what these young people, resident doctors, are doing is disrespecting the NMA. They are crying wolf when there is none, he said. Meanwhile, the 5-day warning strike has disrupted health services across health facilities in the country. Reporters observed that there was total compliance to the strike by members of the NARD. At the National Hospital Abuja, people needing attention at the General Outpatient GOP unit were turned away by services were offered at the emergency units of the hospital by consultants and house officials. Going on to the next story. The National Population Commission, NPC, has disclosed that over 200 billion naira has been spent so far for the preparation of the 2023 Population and Housing Census. Chairman of the Commission, Nasir Isa Kwara, made this known at the breakfast meeting with media executives in preparation for the 2023 Population and Housing Census in Abuja on Thursday. The NPC board further stated that although 800 billion naira was budgeted for the census, the federal government has only allocated 224 billion naira for the exercise. According to him, what we have been able to expend is about 200 billion naira. So the 800 billion naira is the budget, and that budget covers the cost of conducting census in Nigeria. It is not that government has given us 800 billion naira, but it is a budget, and we believe that we may spend up to that, or we may not spend up to that. To be straightforward, the federal government has actually provided 224 billion naira, which we have utilized for the census so far. Isa Kwara hailed President Muhammadu Buhari's decision to postpone the census, saying that it was the right thing to do as the nation is about to transit into another administration. He also assured Nigerians of conducting the census in a serene and secure environment, despite security threats from different parts of the country. In the same vein, Federal Commissioner representing Oyo State NPC and Chairman Public Affairs Committee, Dr. Eyitayo Oyetunji, said the census was not cancelled but only postponed, and that preparation still continued. He said the census process continues even though it has been postponed and rescheduled, we want to make a statement that it has not been cancelled. The process is continuing. And going on to the next story. The Presidential Election Petition Court on Thursday heard the application by the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar to allow for the live television or televising of the ongoing election petition proceedings. Parties to the petition adopted their processes and agreed that documents certified by the Independent National Electoral Commission will be tendered without objections. The PDP and Atiku, through their counsel, Chris Uche San, had prayed to the court for an order allowing the live broadcast of the proceeding due to the monumental importance of the case. The petitioners argued that Nigerians being stakeholders have a right to have a real-time information about the election petition proceedings. All the respondents to the petition, namely INEC, the President-elect Bola Tinubu, and the All Progressive Congress, vehemently opposed the application. Among other reasons, they contended that the court is not a circus, a film house, or a theater, but for serious and solemn business. Counsel for APC, Lateef Fagbemi, asked the court not to concede. The request turned the court into a Big Brother electoral series. After hearing argument from all parties, the court stood down for 5 minutes. Information on Wednesday reported that Tinubu and the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima urged the court to dismiss the application by Atiku and PDP for a live broadcast of proceedings. They argued that the relief sought by the applicants are not such that the court could grant it. With much respect to the petitioners, the motion is an abuse of the processes of this honorable court, the respondent stated. Besides describing the application as frivolous, they said the court was not a soapbox, stadium, or theater where the public should be entertained. Through their team of lawyers led by Chief Wale Olanipekun, they wondered why a petitioner would file an application to distract the court and waste its precious time. They stated in the counter affidavit that the application relates to policy formulations of the court, which is outside the PEPC's jurisdiction as constituted. Going on to the next story. The factional chairman of the Labour Party, LP, Lamidi Apapa, has threatened to expose the party's presidential candidate in the last elections, Peter Obi. Apapa had to deal with bitter exchanges inside the tribunal over sitting arrangements on Wednesday. He was bowed by the party supporters as he emerged from the tribunal, while his cap was pulled off his head. Addressing the media afterwards, Apapa claimed Obi was taking sides with Julius Abure, the LP chairman removed by the court. Apapa also denied he had collected bribes from other political parties to destroy LP from within. On the allegations of bribe taking, it's not true. If you have evidence to prove, bring your evidence that I have collected money or we have collected money from anybody. It's absolutely untrue, he said. On Peter Obi taking sides, I don't want to expose him, but he deserves to be exposed. Some time ago, in one of the interviews Obi granted, he said he did not know me at all. I have been trying to cover him, but he does not deserve it. Obi's first campaign started in Benin. I was in Benin with him, and we used his aircraft from Benin back to Abuja chartered plane. Not only that, when he came to Ekiti, Afe Babalola University, I led the team that hosted him in that campus. We were there for over 2 hours. I led the team to the palace, and he doesn't know me.
Answer that quickly. Well, the first question of allegation of corruption, bribe taking, it is not true. And I've told them severally, if you have an evidence to prove, bring your evidence that I have collected money or we have collected money from anybody. That is not, it's absolutely untrue. That's that.
The second one, obviously Peter will be taking side with Aburi. Peter will be taking side. You see, I don't want to keep on exposing, but he deserves to be exposed. He deserves to be exposed. Some time ago, in one of the interviews he granted, he said he does not know me at all. I want to tell the whole world, he's a liar. And let me tell you why I say he's a liar. I've been trying to cover him, but he does not deserve it. The reasons are this. One, this is a man done his primary in Asaba. I did the opening prayer. And I was not a young officer. I was the deputy national chairman of the party then. So not a junior officer. This party, I've been 21 years in this party. When this party was formed, I started with the party, and I've held a lot of positions in the party to the level I have today. So that is not true at all, at all, at all. I've never taken cover from anybody, and anybody who is courageous enough to say this is evidence against you, I'll be happy to see such a person. It is not true at all. What's in there in the other cap? My cap is here, you can see it. It's not burned. And the boy who removed my cap, he will suffer it in his life. I saw him. No, listen. I saw him. He's a young chap. He will never grow old. He deserves it. You know why he deserves it? You know why? Listen. I didn't use cutlass on him. Did he not deserve it? He deserves to be cursed.
To answer more light on this question of allegation of 500, I think the people you see were in this party will know what happened.
From that story, we go to Zamfara. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it is currently probing Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle for alleged 70 billion naira fraud. The anti-graft agency also confirmed that a former Minister of Power, Saleh Mamman, who was recently arrested by the operatives of the commission over alleged 22 billion naira fraud, is still in detention. Chairman of the anti-graft agency, Abdurrashid Bawa, made the disclosure at a press briefing on Thursday, urging Nigerians not to be swayed by Matawalle's recent outburst. The governor had leveled allegations against Bawa and dared the commission to go after members of President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet. But Bawa, who spoke through the Director of Public Affairs of the commission, Osita Nwaja, explained that the agency was not supposed to dignify Matawalle with a response, but it did in order to set the record straight. Unfortunately, it is not within Matawalle's remit to dictate to the EFCC whom to arrest, when and where. Suspect in the custody of the commission cut across all sectors and social class. The classification on qualification to get a space in the commission detention facility is to commit a crime. It does not matter whether you are a priest, imam, governor, or minister. Currently, a former minister of power is in his custody of the EFCC over a 22 billion naira fraud allegation that conveniently did not attract Matawalle's attention, Nwaja said. Going on to the next story from Ogun. A federal high court sitting at A federal high court sitting at Okemoson, Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, has remanded two suspected smugglers, Feleru Oluwasegun and Fakare, in a correctional facility for attacking operatives of the Ikeja Zone A Federal Operations Unit of Nigeria Customs Service with charms and horsewhip. Justice Adefunmilayo Demi Ajayi of the Federal High Court ordered that the suspect be remanded in a correctional facility in Abeokuta pending the hearing of their bail applications. The suspects were arraigned on 3 counts bordering on assault, illegal importation of 37 bags of foreign parboiled rice, and unlawful possession of contrabands. The customs prosecutor and assistant legal advisor, Vivian Ayebogono, told the court that the accused persons committed the offenses on February 24, 2023 at Owoyele axis of Ibogila in the Yewo North local government area of the state. Ayebogono said the suspect connived with and inflicted physical injuries on 2 operatives simply identified as Joseph and Echem while performing their statutory functions as his anti-smuggling operatives. Ayebogono further told the court that the offences contravene Section 11, bracket A, Cap C45 of the Customs and Exercise Management Act, punishable under the law of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. Moving a motion for their bail applications, the defense counsel, O.O. Oyedele, prayed the court to grant his clients bail on grounds of their health. From Ogun, we go to the next story. A member of the House of Representatives representing Mangu/Boko's federal constituency in Plateau State, Solomon Meren, has alleged that in the last few months, about 200 people have been killed in his constituency by terrorists. In a statement he personally issued on Wednesday night, he appealed with the President Muhammadu Buhari to, as a matter of urgency, order security agencies to secure lives and property in the area. He lamented, "I find it expedient at this time to intimate the world on the unfortunate happenings in my constituency, Mangu Boko's federal constituency, Plateau State, in the last 2 days, where over 100 persons, most of them women and children, have been massacred and butchered in cold blood by terrorists during an overnight unprovoked attack, and their houses burned down, including foodstuffs, food banks, and cities." He noted that the killings are one among many in the constituency, where over 200 persons have been killed in the last 4 months before the month of May. According to him, the government may claim to be doing its best, but it is not good enough since it has not been able to stop the killings in years. From Plateau State, we'll go to the next story. The police command in Anambra State has said that 2 suspects have been arrested in connection with Tuesday's attack on the U.S. consulate convoy in Ogbaru, local government area. Primarily, investigations conducted by the police revealed that 7 persons were killed in the assault. Of the 7, 3 were U.S. consulate officials and 4 were mobile police escorts. Speaking on the development on Thursday, Anambra State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Echeng said a joint security task force comprising of police tactical teams and troops of the Nigerian Army and Navy raided the suspect hideout at Ugwa Neocha community within Ogbaru, LGA. According to him, the security operatives upon arrival met a deserted camp, and while the camp was razed down, the commissioner disclosed that 2 persons of interest have been arrested and they are under interrogations by the police. During the press briefing at the State Police Command headquarters in the state, Muabui, the commissioner also stated that the victims, 5 male officials of the U.S. Embassy and 4 armed police escorts from Lagos, were on a mission to access the impact of erosion in Ogbaru. They were in a convoy of 2 vehicles when the attack occurred. The police chief said further investigations are underway and findings will be shared with the public in due time. From Anambra State, we'll go to the foreign story. The United States government has promised to help Nigeria apprehend the killers of its officials and 2 police officers in Anambra. A gang of unknown assailants on Tuesday attacked a motorcade of 2 U.S. government vehicles in Ogbaru, local government area. The convoy was carrying 9 Nigerian nationals, 5 employees of the U.S. mission, and 4 members of the Nigeria Police Force, NPF. The delegation was traveling in advance of a planned visit to a flood response project in Anambra sponsored by the American government. A statement the consulate issued Wednesday night quoted Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, saying America does not yet know the motive for the attack and if it was targeted against the mission. The assailants killed at least 4 members of the U.S. convoy. Agencies are collaborating with Nigeria counterpart to ascertain the location and condition of victims unaccounted for. We condemn in strongest terms in this attack. We will work closely with our Nigerian law enforcement colleagues in seeking to bring those responsible to justice, Blinken promised. The U.S. said it has no greater priority than the safety and security of its personnel, expressing heartfelt condolences to the families of those killed in the attack. The statement further reaffirmed America's strong commitment to the people of Nigeria to assist in the fight against violence and insecurity the nation battling. To end the World News this hour from BGI TV, current is the sports news. KAA Giant forward Gift Urban will be invited for the Super Eagles 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying fixtures against Sierra Leone next month, information reports. The Super Eagles will take on John Kester's men at yet-to-be-named venue on June 18. Urban told that is among the players already penciled down by coach Jose Pesero for the game. The 20-year-old has been in sensational form since his arrival at Gent in January. The young striker has scored 19 goals and registered 2 assists in 19 games across the competition for the club. Urban scored 18 goals in 23 games for step back in the Norwegian second tie before moving to Giants. The Super Eagles need a point against Sierra Leone to book up sport in Côte d'Ivoire 2023 for the Africa Cup of Nations proper. That sports story ends the World News this hour from BGI TV Current. Before we go, some major headlines. FG moves to replace striking doctors with ad hoc staff. The National Population Commission, NPC, has disclosed that over 200 billion naira ready for the census program. INEC, Tinubu, APC oppose Atiku's live broadcast proceedings application. Peter Obi deserves to be exposed. Labour factional chairman, Apapa states. And on sport, Auburn set for Super Eagles debut against Sierra Leone for the Africa Cup of Nations at Côte d'Ivoire. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For ad replacement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for ad replacements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal.